You know, there's nothing more frustrating than feeling like your body isn't cooperating with you, especially when it comes to something as simple as digestion. If you're over 50, you've probably noticed that things don't move as smoothly as they used to. Maybe you've tried drinking more water, walking a little extra, or even over-the-counter remedies, only to find that relief is still just out of reach. But what if I told you that the solution might be as easy as adding a few simple foods to your daily routine? Foods that are probably already in your kitchen or at your local grocery store. No harsh laxatives, no complicated diets, just real, wholesome ingredients that work with your body to keep things moving naturally. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. In this video, we'll cover 5 amazing foods that can help ease constipation and get your digestion back on track. And the best part? These aren't strange or expensive superfoods. They're everyday items that you might already enjoy. Now, before we dive in, let's talk about why this matters so much, especially as we get older. Our digestive systems naturally slow down with age. Muscles in the intestines don't contract as strongly, and sometimes, we might not even realize we're not getting enough fiber or hydration. That's where these foods come in. They're packed with the fiber, water, and nutrients your gut needs to function smoothly. So let's start with the first food on our list, one you've probably heard 1,000 times, but maybe haven't been giving enough credit: prunes. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Prunes? Really? Aren't those just for, well, older folks? But here's the thing. They've earned their reputation for a reason. Prunes are nature's perfect remedy for constipation. They're loaded with fiber, but more importantly, they contain a natural sugar alcohol called sorbitol, which acts like a gentle laxative by drawing water into the intestines. And unlike some harsh over-the-counter options, prunes work with your body, not against it. The best way to use them? Try having 3 or 4 prunes with your breakfast, or soak a few in warm water before bed and eat them in the morning. You'll be amazed at how such a small change can make a big difference. Now, the second food on our list is one you might not expect: chia seeds. These tiny seeds are absolute powerhouses when it comes to digestion. Just 1 tablespoon of chia seeds has nearly 5 grams of fiber. That's about 20% of what most adults need in a day. But what really makes them special is how they absorb water. When you soak chia seeds, they form a gel-like consistency that helps soften stool and makes it easier to pass. You can sprinkle them on yogurt, blend them into smoothies, or even make a simple chia pudding by soaking them overnight in almond milk with a little honey. The key is to drink plenty of water with them, as they need liquid to do their job properly. And that brings us to our third food: leafy greens, especially spinach and kale. These aren't just good for your overall health, they're fantastic for digestion too. Leafy greens are packed with fiber, magnesium, and water, all of which help keep things moving smoothly. Magnesium, in particular, helps relax the muscles in your intestines, making it easier for stool to pass through. If you're not a fan of salads, don't worry. You can easily sneak greens into soups, omelets, or even blend them into a fruit smoothie where you won't even taste them. The goal is to get at least a cup or 2 of leafy greens into your diet every day. Now we've covered 3 powerful foods so far: prunes, chia seeds, and leafy greens, and already you can see how small, simple additions to your meals can make a big difference. Now that we've talked about prunes, chia seeds, and leafy greens, let's move on to the next food that can work wonders for your digestion: kiwi fruit. Yes, that little fuzzy fruit you might have passed by in the grocery store is actually one of the best natural remedies for constipation. What makes kiwi so special? Well, for starters, it's packed with fiber, about 2 grams per fruit, but more importantly, it contains an enzyme called actinidin, which helps break down proteins and stimulates movement in your digestive tract. Studies have even shown that eating 2 kiwis a day can significantly improve bowel movements in people with chronic constipation. The best part? Kiwi is delicious and easy to add to your diet. You can slice it up and eat it on its own, toss it into a fruit salad, or blend it into a smoothie. And if you've never tried golden kiwi, give it a shot. It's sweeter than the green variety and just as effective. Now, let's talk about our fifth and final food, oats. If you're not already starting your day with a warm bowl of oatmeal, you might want to reconsider. Oats are one of the best sources of soluble fiber, which absorbs water and forms a gel-like substance in your gut. This not only softens stool but also helps it move through your intestines more easily. But here's the key: not all oats are created equal. Steel-cut or rolled oats are your best bet because they're less processed and retain more fiber than instant varieties. And if you really want to boost their digestive benefits, try adding a tablespoon of ground flax seeds or a handful of berries for extra fiber. Oats aren't just for breakfast, either. You can use them in savory dishes like soups or even bake them into healthy muffins. The goal is to make them a regular part of your diet so your digestive system gets that steady, gentle support it needs. Now, before we wrap up, I want to address something important: hydration. No matter how much fiber you eat, it won't do its job properly if you're not drinking enough water. Fiber acts like a sponge in your gut, and without enough fluid, it can actually make constipation worse. So, while you're adding these 5 foods to your diet, make sure you're also sipping on water throughout the day. Herbal teas and broths count too, especially if you're not a fan of plain water. So, to recap, we've covered prunes, chia seeds, leafy greens, kiwi, and oats. Each of these foods brings something unique to the table, whether it's fiber, enzymes, or hydration. But the real magic happens when you combine them consistently. You don't have to eat all 5 every single day, but the more you incorporate them into your meals, the better your digestion will function. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most powerful, especially when it comes to our health. We've talked about 5 incredible foods that can help keep constipation at bay, but now it's time to bring it all together. How do you make these foods a natural part of your daily routine without feeling like you're on a strict diet? Let's talk about that. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Change doesn't have to be overwhelming. You don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. In fact, small, consistent tweaks are often the most effective. For example, maybe you start your morning with a bowl of oatmeal topped with chia seeds and a few slices of kiwi. Or perhaps you add a handful of spinach to your lunchtime soup or sandwich. These little shifts add up, and before you know it, you're giving your body the tools it needs to feel its best. Now, I want to share a quick tip that many people overlook: timing. Your digestive system loves routine. Try eating these fiber-rich foods at roughly the same times each day, whether it's prunes with breakfast or a leafy green salad with dinner. This consistency helps regulate your body's natural rhythms, making it easier for everything to flow smoothly. And let's not forget about movement. Gentle exercise, like a daily walk or even some light stretching, can work hand in hand with these foods to keep things moving. You don't need to run a marathon. Just 20 to 30 minutes of movement a day can make a world of difference. Think of it as a partnership. The foods nourish your gut, and the activity helps stimulate digestion. One last thing: listen to your body. Everyone's digestive system is a little different. Maybe you'll find that chia seeds work wonders for you, or perhaps kiwi becomes your go-to remedy. Pay attention to how your body responds and adjust accordingly. And if you ever feel unsure, don't hesitate to chat with your doctor or a nutritionist. They can help you tailor these suggestions to your unique needs. So let's take a moment to recap: prunes, chia seeds, leafy greens, kiwi, and oats. 5 simple, everyday foods that can transform your digestion. Combine them with plenty of water, a bit of movement, and a dash of consistency, and you've got a recipe for feeling lighter, more energized, and more like yourself. I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried any of these foods before? Did you notice a difference? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might just inspire someone else to give these tips a try. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more tips on living your best life after 50. Remember, aging might be inevitable, but feeling sluggish and uncomfortable doesn't have to be. Here's to happy digestion and a happier you. Until next time, take care and enjoy those kiwi.